Ram is in huge trouble right now, and the only people to blame, well, is themselves.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Stay calm!
We're talking about skyrocketing prices for new trucks that no one wants to pay.
I'm out.
Dealers scrambling to get rid of old inventory with ridiculous incentives. And on top of that, 30-year CEO of Dodge Ram has quit. Leaving people scared for Ram's future. It looks like Ram could be headed down the toilet soon if they don't make some big changes. Like, subscribe, and let's go. So, what was the first sign of crisis within Dodge and Ram? Well, the most alarming one is that there is a huge amount of trucks just sitting, gathering dust on dealers' lots. Visit any Dodge Ram dealer today, and you will see dozens upon dozens of 23, 24, and 2025 model year Ram trucks packed fender to fender on these lots with no buyers in sight. It almost sounds like a fender bender. And what does that mean? Well, each day that these trucks don't sell, it's costing dealers money because they'll eventually have to discount them heavily in order to get them into customers' hands.
I'm all out of money!
Because you don't have to go sneaking around Ram dealers to see this excess of inventory in action. You can simply fire up the good old internet and see this with your own two eyes. This is just one zip code. There are 241 brand new 2025 sitting on dealer lots. Probably more that haven't even been listed yet. And while those are brand spanking new trucks with the highest prices, the same can be said with the older 2024 models. There are 232 2024 models with little to no miles just sitting on dealer lots with no home. Can anybody adopt these things? I mean, this begs the question, why is Dodge having this excessive inventory crisis? Well, for starters, these prices are out of hand. You're looking at $70,000 for a 2025 Ram 1500 that will almost certainly depreciate instantly after selling, if it ever does. Like 15 to 20% depreciation right when you drive it off the lot. That is just the beginning. You can find other 1500s like this one that are going for over $80,000. Yeah. That's the kind of money people are spending on brand new mid-engine C8 Corvettes right now, and some are getting them for even less. Don't even get me started on the slightly heavier duty Rams because these prices are astronomical. No, your eyes are not tricking you, and I'm no optometrist. This is nearly $95,000 for a 2024 Ram 2500 and over six figures for these Ram 3500s. Ouch. I mean, just imagine the monthly payment you would have on these trucks. Forget the C8 Corvette, that's getting closer to Porsche 911 money for a utility vehicle meant for the working class. Insane. And that brings us right up to the moment where this Ram crisis hits its crescendo. People do not want to shell out close to six figures for a truck. Not only that, most regular people who need a truck can't do it anyways, even if they wanted to. As I'm sure you know and have been experiencing, the cost of living has just continued to go up and is at a rate that isn't sustainable for many folks. Rent, groceries, gas, and everything in between is increasing in price. And to add cars on top of that, let alone a $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 truck, is just way too much for the average consumer. Think of it this way. Financial experts say that your car loan should be between 10 and 15% of your monthly income. And if you bought an $80,000 Ram with a 60-month plan, you'll be paying around $1,300 per month. So you'd have to be making $13,000 a month or around $150,000 annually to justify that loan. And $150,000 is more than twice the individual income for Americans. So, at the very least, Ram is taking their target working class demographics and completely pricing them out. But there's always loans to help you out, right? Well, currently, that isn't a viable option for many people. If you can't get approved for a loan for a down payment on a new truck, you won't be able to even justify buying the truck in the first place. And if you somehow get a loan and end up missing payments, that new vehicle is gonna get repossessed faster than you can say, well, repossessed. And this is also an issue for the dealers. When they sell a truck and collect the down payment, they're banking on your monthly payments to pay their bills. And when those come in late or they don't come in at all, I think you see where I'm going with this.
I've got repo orders for it.
This is ours. We paid for it through him.
Hey, I don't.
Through my other son and
I have
Bobby
no
Joey.
idea.
No,
I have
you're
no
not
idea if
taking
that-
it. I'm calling Hitchcock.
They then repossess the vehicles that are commonly mistreated and in bad shape, costing them more money to either repair them or sell them for much cheaper as is. But there's one other thing that dealers like Ram are doing now with unsold repossessed cars. Auctions. Yes, those hundreds and hundreds of 23, 24, and 2025 Rams we showed you earlier, well, a lot of them will probably never find a buyer because they are just way too much money. And when the dealers are in trouble like they are now, they'll have to give these vehicles over to vehicle auctions where these brand new trucks will sell for pennies on the dollar compared to what they would have sold for on dealer lots if they had been sold brand new. But forget about high prices. That's just one part of the reason for a lack of demand. Because a lot of these new 2024 and 2025 Ram trucks are fitted with the V6 and inline 6 options, not the good old V8. And you guys know these drivetrains are not the kind of thing that these buyers are looking for, especially truck buyers.
No way!
Dedicated Ram customers would much rather pay an inflated price if they were at least getting a 5.7 Hemi or some other V8 variant. But even some of these trucks with decent trim packages that are only a year old or less are still sitting because they don't have the desirable powertrain. And the lack of purchases from the price increases and lack of demand from customers left Ram with no choice but to heavily discount some of their year-old stock. Literally, take the group of listed trucks that I showed with the V6 options and look at the difference between their listed price and their original MSRP. We're looking at $5 grand, $10 grand off, even nearly $20,000 discounts like this one here. And remember, these trucks are brand new with little to no miles, or just delivery miles, and in the best mechanical shape that they will ever be. And they have 10 to 20,000 bucks taken off the top. Ram is really getting desperate right now. I mean, Porsche and Ram have an 8% built-in profit margin in the sales price of their vehicles. But when you're selling for tens of thousands of dollars off, you're selling them at a deep loss. So you think these discounts would stimulate some sales success with getting rid of old inventory, right? Well, nope.
Nope.
In just one local area, we can see dozens of Rams with massive discounts that still have no buyers in sight. And this goes to show that Ram is just simply losing credibility with their customers and that people don't believe in the company as much as they once did. You see, all of the things that I'm talking about right now comes just a couple months after the Dodge Ram CEO, Tom Kuniskis, left the company. The reason why? Well, he didn't give an official reason, just like when I broke up with my ex.
Oh my God, I want to break up. I want to break up.
But the timing of his retirement came right after their parent company, Stellantis, started seeing huge sales dips in their products and right after they began a major transition away from V8s to electrification and smaller engines. Kuniskis' decision to step down was likely because of feelings that regular customers were having too. Dodge Ram was moving away from what made them a household name in the US truck market, and with the consecutive bad decisions made by Stellantis and their dealers, it's no wonder why someone would want to distance themselves. And to customers, seeing someone who was so instrumental in Dodge Ram's success, especially with his devotion for their V8 heritage, step down in such a hurry after the company's recent failures, well, it gave them a reason to finally reject the overpriced and unrealistic sales plan that they offer to customers. I mean, customers already have enough reasons not to buy new cars and trucks. The economy is currently doing really poorly for normal Americans, and that has forced them to focus on essential purchases and only the things that make sense to buy. And when the majority of dealers are offering undesirable powertrains and trucks that cost way more than the average payment on a home in 2024, it's no wonder that Ram can't sell vehicles even with $20,000 discounts. And when customers get priced out at 2023, 2024, 2025 model year trucks, sometimes the only option left are repossession vehicles that the dealer has to get rid of for cheap. And remember, when I said repo vehicles come back in bad shape, well, it is no joke, folks. Many of these trucks have missing trim pieces, peeling paint, broken parts, rust, and a lot of the time, some unsavory modifications from the previous owner like ugly wheels, fender flares, and on and on and on. And oftentimes, it's not just the repo cars that have issues. See, when 2023 or 24 models sit on a lot outside for literally years, the weather takes a toll on the exterior. Batteries often need to be replaced, tires start to get dry rotted, and then they'll already have to make a trip to the repair shop the moment you sign the dotted line. That's the reality of what Ram is undergoing right now. Ridiculously high prices on basic trucks, huge amounts of unsold inventory, a lack of desirable powertrains, discounted vehicles that still can't get sold, a CEO that lost faith in the company, just like many of its customers. Now we have poor condition trucks on the lots because they have spent literally years in the elements or being trashed by previous owners. The result, Ram can't sell anything. So, will this be the end of Ram as we know it, or will those new 2025 trucks with the Hurricane Straight 6 start to be picking up their sales again? It's hard to say, but rest assured that we'll be following Ram and many other important market updates so you know exactly what's going on. Now, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Do you own a Ram truck? Well, hit me with the feels, because I like the older ones. And, let me know how much you like yours, or if you'd ever consider buying an old one or a new one. And if you enjoyed this vid, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Check out some of these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad. This is Ideal. We'll see you next week, and promise me one thing. Keep living the ideal lifestyle.